This is a public service announcement. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are for comedy purposes only and should not be taken seriously. The Never a Straight Answer podcast advised that the information covered in the show should not be used for educational purposes, nor as a guide for carrying out such crimes linked to the subject matter of the episode, no matter how fucking awesome it is. Gaz and Taylor do not take responsibility for the following: UFO encounters or possible linked abductions, committing or being a victim of serial murder, falling down conspiracy rabbit holes, fits of psychotic rage, anger or confusion, or going postal on friends, family or co-workers. The boys advise the use of THC or edibles when subjected to the Never a Straight Answer podcast. We hope you enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to another episode of Never a Straight Answer, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joined remotely by Satellite Link Up, it's my friend and yours.
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Mr. Taylor. Hey. Give your hands, round of applause. Welcome along. Oh, what the hell was that? Welcome to the show. And as you could probably see, I mean, if you're viewing us on YouTube, you can see that we've funked shit up a little bit. We've funked it up, made it a bit more kind of funkier for your viewing pleasure. And obviously, doesn't affect the podcast much, but it makes it look a bit snazzier on the old YouTube.
It does. I see you're lost in space again.
I'm floating around in space. Yeah. So just been messing around during the lockdown. Been messing around with green screens and messing stuff. Just having fun, testing stuff out. You got to try these things, haven't you? Don't. Yeah,
except for there's a big error there.
Why?
If you've noticed, you can't hear anything in space.
That's true. That's why I'm wearing headphones.
See, that's why you got a speaker in front of you.
That's exactly it. You see. So how are you doing, man? How are you coping with the lockdown this week?
Another 3 weeks. A little bit now.
Another 3 weeks been added on to this lockdown catastrophe.
I'm telling you, September.
Do you reckon September? Is this
I'm saying September. I've said it all along.
We got
September's the nearest, I reckon.
Do you think? I don't know. Yeah. You know, it seems quite a long way away, September. And like schools today actually officially said they've got no plans on opening schools for the foreseeable future.
What, forever?
Well, not forever.
Yeah.
Not forever, ever. Forever.
No,
not forever, ever, but
must be forever.
For a period of time.
For at least the end of the year.
Probably to the end of the year. There's been a lot of this in the States where they've basically said you're on lockdown, you've got to deal with the kiddie situation yourself for the next.
Two counties from Monday are letting more workers.
Do you think that's a good idea, though, breaking this lockdown at the moment, though? Do you know, like, bringing in... I mean, I know it's down to individual states and stuff like that, and there's been a lot of protests and stuff recently. But I don't know. I think it's a bad idea. I think you should just kind of roll with it. Couple more weeks, you know. But there's the whole question of whether they're saying it's basically affecting the Constitution, and they're not allowed to go out. You know, basically they're being prisoners, and they're not seeing it for what it is. That there is a reason behind it. They're seeing it as though it's a.
I don't know, because
they're being under house arrest, if you like. I'm not being exaggerating that, but that's the vibe I'm getting from it, you know. Yeah,
but look at the actions. It's the proof is in the pudding. Check history. That stuff like this, when the ones in charge who've got this kind of power, they're going to change things. They're going to do things. There'll be things now happening that we won't know about until it's over with. And there's actually a thing I've been hearing big time at the minute about Hollywood. There's a massive operation going on over there.
I'm not 100% sure about this because I've seen a big conspiracy about this involving Oprah Winfrey and Tom Hanks recently, and it turned into...
UFC champion was on the other day. He's put it over YouTube.
Well, again, it's kind of more grim shit that I don't think really people care. I mean, well, they do. They totally care. But
he's being put to the back burner.
It's being put to the back burner at the moment because there's bigger things going on at this precise moment. I mean... Well,
we can either go tough or not, really, with this virus. We can either go, right, it's going to be a lockdown, full year, boom. Everyone can't go near anywhere or anything like that, and then the year after would be a lot better.
I think we've kind of according to the news, we've hit the peak and we're plateauing, and now it's just a downward climb in it. So it's like, hopefully, this is like, you know, the gist of it and the end of it. And
got a couple more weeks before we hit the peak, I reckon.
Couple more months. Well, the same we have. So, you know, I don't know. It's one man's opinion versus, I don't know. If you believe what stats they're coming out with, but then there was a load of stuff about, you know, we're following how many deaths they've been or how many kind of problems they've been. And then there's been stuff that's not been taken into account, like care homes.
Care homes, yeah.
We've gone into this a way bit too soon anyway. Opening of the show. To be fair, we'll come back to a bit of Corona news later.
It'll be coming up in the news later on anyway. So, not that. What have you been up to anyway?
Well, I've been pissing about with just kind of this stuff, really. And
space.
Been floating around in space.
Yeah, you froze it yesterday, didn't you?
What?
You froze space yesterday.
I thought,
there was a time warp.
There was a time warp. Yeah, so I've just been messing around with this, doing a bit of butt learning, bit of fucking trying to brush up on a few skills, getting a few jobs done around the house, you know, same as pretty much everybody. I think, you know, been trying to stay in as much as I can, and it's hard. Obviously, you live on your own, and, you know, you feel like, you know, you're going a bit crazy because you've got no company, but other than that...
Thankfully, I got my brother, so I'm alright.
Thank God for Xbox Live, that's all I'll say.
Yes, definitely.
And you guys, thanks for listening and joining us again for another episode. So tonight's topic, right, is a bit of an interesting one, right? Because it's a conspiracy that I found a while ago, and I was like, this can't be right, yeah. And then
it's only reported a couple of months ago as well in the papers. It was
actually reported again a couple of months ago, and this is why we're bringing it up tonight, because it was it came up a few years ago. Then it re-emerged as a conspiracy. And then once there was a wedding, it all kind of came out again. And now it's like I started wondering, where the hell did this conspiracy come from? Because I'm not sure, right? And now I found out a really kind of... once I started looking into it, I found...
There's more than one in there, son. There's more than one.
Right? And the actual conspiracy linked to this particular person is absolutely bonkers, yeah. I don't know if you know it, but tonight we're going to be talking about Prince Charles's secret daughter, if you knew there was such a thing. I think we've got a picture, actually, so, like, 1 second.
Yeah, I believe so.
There we go. Prince Charles's secret daughter, there you go. Apparently it's Charles and Diana's kid. Why keep it a secret? We'll be diving into it a bit later on.
I've heard something else on that one as well.
You? I've
heard that he's got a son.
Well, I've seen that there's another guy actually claiming to be his son, but we'll get into it a bit later on in the show. Got quite a lot to cover. This week we got quite a good what's fucked up where you're from.
Yeah.
They don't want to be named for whatever reasons, so we're going to call him Mr. Anonymous. Mr. Anonymous.
It might be a Mrs.
Or Mrs. Yeah.
Yeah. Might be a Mrs.
We'll just call them Anonymous. They've emailed us asking whether we'd look into their area. Said they've got quite a lot of fucked up shit going on, and they were not wrong. This week we're going to be diving into New Jersey. I don't even know if that's the right accent, but New Jersey, which is not far from New York.
Yeah,
across the over the water there.
Over the bridge.
New Jersey has got fucking absolutely tons of fucked up shit going on, right? Yeah. So this week, We're gonna go to New Jersey for What's Fucked Up.
Where you're from.
So, looking into the fucked up shit, right, I was amazed at how many urban legends there are, right, just surrounding Jersey, right. There's one in particular that comes to mind straight away, the Jersey Devil. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Jersey Devil is quite a popular urban legend when it comes to the state of Jersey, or the city of Jersey. The Jersey Devil basically has a deep following in the south of New Jersey and Philadelphia areas. Due to sightings there, many believe it to be an actual animal or a phenomenon similar to Bigfoot or Yeti. Believers sometimes say that have been sightings in crowds, and during the phenomenon of the week in 1909, there's been loads of evidence, kind of to put forward about the Jersey Devil's existence.
Yeah, but they must have had a bit of DNA it now by now.
Well, there's been like kind of hunts for it, like there would be for Bigfoot and stuff like that. So I'm not sure. There's probably a lot of kind of inconclusive evidence being put forward. That remember when we did the Bigfoot episode, and there was the fact that the guy sent in a piece of fur, and how long it was before they got the results back, and then they went, it was a bit of deer. And it was like, I'm a hunter, I know a bit of deer when I see it, but how do you know that sample wasn't tampered with or changed? I don't know.
Well, there is always them possibilities. You've just got to be able to, I suppose, put the trust in the people you're trying to get the right results through.
They've said that it could be a result of other animals such as sandhill cranes or kangaroos. There's some legendary creatures in the Pine Barrens, and most residents basically consider it a legend rather than fact. So, Jersey Devil, it's pretty interesting. There's quite a lot of haunted buildings out in New Jersey as well. The Spy House, which is also known as the Seabrook Wilson House, is one of the oldest surviving homes in the Bayshore area. It was built in the mid-1663, and the house has a history of ghost apparitions and paranormal shit going on.
I'm not surprised, he's fucking old.
The owner and innkeeper, Thomas Seabrook, was a patriot for New Jersey, and basically during the Revolutionary War. So he's basically claimed to see female spirits walking from room to room, hear a crying baby, and the ghost of a small boy that looks out the window, and an elderly bearded sea captain roaming the grounds and the halls. Ooh.
My heart here.
It's like fucking Captain Cook, and that is another one. Captain Cook is, so the legend goes that Captain Morgan, the infamous pirate, was known to conduct torture in the basement of that house.
Oh shit!
So obviously, it's got a bit of a gruesome history. Then. But talking about captains, Captain Cook, obviously known as Captain... Oh, is it Captain Kidd? Sorry, I do apologise.
Captain Kidd.
Yeah. There's obviously a legend of the ghost of Captain Kidd, which is, according to locals, another kind of ghost that's supposed to be seen around Jersey. And often locals tell stories about the ghost of Kidd walking along the beach with the Jersey Devil. So the chill.
Chilling along.
Do you know what I mean?
So it's him walking his dog.
Well, they could be, because there's another myth about the black dog, which is another Pine Barren story. And it's a tale of a black dog, ghostly creature that roamed the beaches and the forests. So you could be the Captain Kidd is walking his black dog with the Jersey Devil. Going back to the hauntings, there's a couple of really interesting ones. The Devil's Tree, right? This is another urban legend. So the tree's located on Mountain Road, and it's a solitary oak, and it's basically located in a field, just basically off Mountain Road. And the local legend suggests the tree is cursed. The story goes that a local farmer killed his wife and children and hung himself from the tree. The legend continues that anyone who cuts down the tree will come to an untimely end. So
someone's had a little cut and they've...
So the Devil's Tree over in Jersey. It's a lot going on in Jersey. I mean, it's like fucking hell. Another one is another area which is supposedly haunted is the Ghost Lake. This is the Ghost Lake is part of Jenny Pump State Forest, or Jenny Jump Street State Forest. Sorry, just off Shades of Death Road, which is located in Almond.
What do you expect to see there then?
In the early 1900s, local men dammed the creek and they named it the Viper Formation, Rise of the Cooling Morning. Wait, hang on. Oh, right, okay, so it had a Viper formation. Yeah, so when the sun hit the rocks, it gave the shapes of vipers, so they named it like the...
right, so it was not... So it's not over anything like there's been murders and shit there, it's just that it looks like something...
Shades of Death Road, isn't it? It's like, that's what the road's called. You know, it's not exactly like... They named it for the fact that you could see these Viper formations, like... in the morning sun, so Shades of Death. That's pretty apt, to be fair. Imaginative name for it, to be fair.
Yeah, true.
Good on.
And it's better than the usual ghost stories.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, if you want to have a look at this, I suppose it's more artism.
But you know what I mean? Fucking hell. Going back into it, what else have I got? So there's the White Stag, which is another urban legend and ghost sighting. The White Stag is a ghostly white deer that is said to aid travellers lost in the Pine Barrens. The stag is also basically said to have stopped a stagecoach from crashing, and anyone having a bit of a near-death experience will kind of come across it and get saved by it. So if you see the White Stag, it's supposed to be good luck. So there you go. There's another New Jersey folklore for you. Now, obviously, there is a lot going on there, and obviously, when I do check into what's fucked up where you're from, I always look for their local paranormal investigators.
Yes, yeah.
And New Jersey's got their own; they've got a few. But one pick of my interest is the NJPI, which is the New Jersey Paranormal Investigators. They're a group of paranormal investigators with over 50 years combined experience investigating private residences, historical sites, and historic homes. No investigation is too big or small. That's what got me. They were like, we don't give a shit, big marshmallow men, whatever you want to call
it could be a little maggot in the corner.
It could be a little fucking teeny weeny ghost, or a big one, big Zool type fucking
big gozer, dangerous fucker,
big gozer. You know,
we're handle any business you send our way.
We're proud of our accomplishments in the paranormal field, and have any type of paranormal. And obviously, if you have any type of paranormal experience, please contact us, and we'll come round for an interview concerning your issues. And obviously, if you want to get in touch with them, you can go to www.njpa or njparanormalinvestigators.org, and they'll be able to hook you up. If you're having
there you go.
Sounds
got
like
a problem in your town?
If you got a problem,
18.
they'll solve it. It sounds like there's a lot going on in New Jersey. So, you know, obviously it doesn't make... I mean, that wasn't even the full list. I was trying to thingy for time. You know, what are you going to do?
I bet there's more.
There is so much more. I mean, let me have a look, see if there's anything super interesting that we should be able to just squeeze in.
Isn't it on the fault line as well?
Oh, maybe. It could be.
I'm pretty sure a part of New Jersey is on a fault line.
Yeah, Shippen Manor, which is located off the Oxford Township, is a historic Georgian mansion built in 1760 for the wealthy Shippen brothers. It's the site of some strange happenings, such as items appearing on shelves that weren't there before, doors opening, closing on their own, and ghosts appearing. People have reported seeing a young boy in period clothing, a woman's torso rushing around, in Revolutionary War soldiers roaming around the estate. So, yeah, they've got a lot going on there as well. So, yeah, plenty going on in New Jersey. Obviously,
sounds like most houses around there are haunted.
Get yourself down there, and obviously sounds like the NJ paranormal people are probably fucking busy. Got 50 years worth of experience there. So, anything you'd like to add? Did you find out anything, or did you?
No,
it's all right.
I just know New Jersey is an old place.
Come on, tell us.
There's
what
a
you
lot
know
of
about
history.
New Jersey.
I only know bits about New Jersey about the history and the witches and stuff like that. There used to be, but that was everywhere. Realistically, there was at least a witch in a county. Still, maybe.
Do you know who the last witch to be burnt in England was? Just out of interest, because we have covered this on the show, and it's relevant.
Am I right in going to 19th century?
Potentially, but what was her name? I can tell you.
What was her name? I got a clue.
It was Helen Duncan.
Helen Duncan.
Yeah, the last witch to be burnt or burnt at the stake, or killed for being a witch.
Yeah.
She was the last witch in the UK to be tried, I suppose.
Do you know what? Yeah.
We have covered it. We covered it on the Salem witch trial episode, which was really.
You just know what to do. Get back and have a look, and if you're there somewhere along the line, have a look at the ghost one, probably.
Hit my leg for some reason. So yeah. So yeah, we'll be moving on quite swiftly into the main topic. There you go. That was anyway. Thank you for getting in touch. If you want to get in touch for to being featured on What's Fucked Up Where You're From, you can drop us an email at neverastraightanswer@gmail.co.uk, or just hit us up at the website at neverastraightanswer.co.uk, and you'll be able to send us a message, get involved, tell us if
and Jersey, you've got a fucked up place by the sounds of things.
Jersey smashing it at the moment in the terms of paranormal leaderboard. If you've got an area where's what's even more fucked up than New Jersey, then you let us know, and we'll do a bit of homework and find out what else is going on. So yeah, get involved. Moving on to the main topic tonight we've kind of we did mention it, didn't we? We've said who it is, who we're talking about. So firstly, this
it's like EastEnders. It reminds me of EastEnders.
It's so scandalous. It's untrue. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this, because it is a conspiracy, if you like. Yeah, because if it's true, it's a group of people who have concealed or banded together to conceal some truths from the general public. Right, falls under a category of conspiracy, if you ask me. And to be honest, when I first heard about it, I was like, it's just some bullshit tabloid news.
I can see it happen because of shame.
Because of what?
Shame and honour. Honour to the family and
Well, this is if you believe what the situation is, because firstly, I started to think, well, why would Prince Charles have a secret daughter for a start? Yeah, why would that be a case? If it was Diana's, what would be the problem in bringing that to light and saying, well, we've had this other kid? Obviously, in the 80s, it was a bit, not strict, but like, out of wedlock and all that, right? And he's the prince, Potentially there could be some fucking controversy there, right? Yeah. My second thought was that he had this, love interest with Camilla
he was a player.
Holt, right?
Let's get it right. He was a player.
Yeah. And there could be the potential there for Prince Charles to have had a child with her, but then obviously gone the marriage of Diana route, and then she's come along and gone, well, I've had a kid, got a little girl here, it's yours, right? Proper soap opera style. And then he's like, well, I'm already married to Diana now, like, you know, type of thing. And then that's why it had to be swept under the rug. Third option, I thought, was it's somebody else's entirely, right? And this is why it's been kept a secret, right? Now, I can't see them wanting to keep the Diana mother a secret. He was married to her. There would be no reason why they shouldn't have a child, yeah, right? And especially keep her a secret. So I started looking into it a bit more. Now, the tabloid journalists that were coming out with this story, I mean, it was actually in a fair few. It was listed in, God knows, to be honest, a fair few worldwide newspapers. The first one I came across was this one called Globe, and I'll try and find the picture now.
I think it's US, that.
So, Globe World exclusive, Charles and Di, secret daughter. Now, the story behind this is, I mean, she does look a bit like Diana.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
She's a funny looking lass.
Yeah, she's not bad looking. Say. Oh, do apologise. Technical error. So, when you look at her, would you say that was this girl's called Sarah, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Now, apologise if we'll put
Bring
it
her
up
up
on
again.
We'll put it
Bring
up
her up next to Diana.
We'll put it up on the website for, do you know, anybody who's listening. But basically, this girl is supposed to be the daughter of Princess Di and Charles, right? I can't see it. For a start, the story goes, right, that this is the story that I kind of found, that just before the wedding of Prince Charles and Princess Diana, right?
Was it 89, something like that? 87?
81, I think it was.
81, was it?
Yeah, I think around about that age, because I think Harry was, not Harry, William was born not long after, right? Yeah, after the wedding, right? And so the story goes that they had to go for fertility, tests, to see if she was capable of providing an heir, right? So they've taken Diana to the doctors a couple of months before the wedding, right? And the doctor's done his tests. He's taken a sample egg from Diana, and done this test, and he's took a sample from Prince Charles, right? And he was supposed to destroy them afterwards, right? But this is where it gets really fucked up, because the doctor supposedly didn't destroy them. He took the egg and the sperm, yeah, and impregnated his wife at home, yeah, right? He held them back and took them home, right? Now, she's acted as a surrogate, not knowing where the egg and the sperm come from, or the fertilised egg had come from, yeah. She's basically gone, oh, we've always wanted a kid, blah, blah, and ended up having this baby, right? Which is genetically Charles and Diana's baby. So this is where this story's come from. Now, it hit global sort of coverage. I was finding videos from China, Japan, fucking East Asia, fucking bought it up. They love that shit. Yeah. But it just makes me amazed at how kind of how these tabloid journalists can kind of like spread a story. Now, I think the story that you kind of seen was they were talking about how Harry's now speaking up about his sister. Yeah. Because this is what sparked it back off again for me, right? Now, it seems like it's just now it was front page news, yeah, right? Do you think that this is just a way of selling newspapers? Because it can't
be now, because the papers aren't worth the fucking paper it's written on.
Well, even if that's on a story on online, do you know what I mean? Do you think that's clickbait enough? Where if you've got a picture, now the picture I saw was Andrew and William speak out about their sister, and they've introduced the wives to her. Yeah,
and that was front page.
That was front page, right? Not from UK news, but like other nations, yeah. And that was front page news to them, yeah. So
It's the fact that now that's popular opinion. So is that done for
But that also
reason?
shows the control of the papers in this country.
Well, true that.
And who's got the control over them on letting this out or not.
So it got me thinking, right? The other thing that made me think was there is actually another daughter, right? Now, did you know that Prince Charles has actually 2 stepchildren?
No.
Well, Camilla has 2 kids
Oh, yeah,
herself.
she's got... Yeah.
Right. One of which is called Laura Loop. Yeah, Laura Loop is... she's basically the daughter of Camilla, right?
Right.
Now, she's around about that age where she could potentially have been the daughter of Charles's, yeah?
Yeah.
But actually passed off as her next husband's, do you know what I mean? And that guy's kept up that pretense the whole time, knowing that deep down that's not really his daughter, yeah? Now, there is this woman is in the picture. She was invited to the to Harry and Meghan's wedding. They were both sat there. They've been to loads of functions. Obviously, it's Camilla's ex-husband, and you know.
Yeah, but has anyone contacted the girl? The paper should have contacted the girl to see if she had anything to say about it before it come out on the papers. She's not going to have anything
to say about it. She's not going to say anything, is she? They're all like kind of like all.
Yeah, but then it questions: did she turn around and say, "No, what you want about this is all bullshit, blah blah, this, that, and the other," and they ran with the papers anyway? Then they've got then there's a chance and an opportunity for them to be sued. But
that's what I'm saying. It's like, would they?
Powers that be try to shut it under?
Would there be any merit to any of it, considering that it's all kind of, if it's tabloid, would they not be liable? And if they were, right, so...
Well, they're under their own rules, aren't they?
It's a risk of running that story, isn't it?
After the phone scandal, they're under their own rules. They write their own rules.
So is that just in the UK, or is that why international media are able to kind of literally print stories like this? What could actually just
Project Mockingbird. Bullshit. That's all I've got to say on that one.
Well, go on, explain yourself.
Project Mockingbird, the CIA, who was developed an idea of basically the papers are there to tell us what's been going on behind our backs, what's happening, because we don't know everything at all the points, and it's also a record. But then the CIA decided to take on the editors and force them to actually go through allow this to go, allow not to go, allow this and allow not to go. And the process of it still goes on to now. So before it goes to the editor, it goes to the CIA or another unit. It'd be probably another unit by now, probably because it was changed from Project Mockingbird to several other ones. It's named something else now. It's basically to control the people, to control the information and what information comes out. That's why I always say, look at the little articles more than the big articles.
I'm looking at this as well, right, because I found this article in the Daily Mail, and it's Prince Harry's stepbrother and stepsister revealed after attending royal wedding. Prince Harry's 2 step-siblings, Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Loops, have basically attended. Is Laura married, do you think, or is that her? Was Camilla a bit of a, had multiple husbands before?
No, I think she was Camilla. I think she's only married.
Yeah, she's
twice. I think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is she had a kid to both of those, or is that the 2 children resulting from one husband and then she got married? Laura got married, is what I'm saying. Or why she Loops is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but
and not Parker Bowles, because she's a lady, so she might have changed the name.
It's gone back to Camilla again, and the reason why is because there was an article out in 2016 saying a man known as Simon Durant was the child of Charles and Camilla when in 1965, when Charles was around about 17.
Surely she'd remember that, though.
Well, she ain't saying now, is she?
Oh, shoot.
But this guy's
remember having a baby.
Yeah, but at the time, Charles could have had some kind of affair and slept with her, and after that, Camilla disappeared for 9 months, and he went to Australia. Now, what they're saying is that, she went off, hid it, and adopted, and he went off to Australia and carried on, regardless, not knowing.
I read about this guy from Australia, and he's been to court twice, since, and it's been thrown out twice, but
who owns that court?
Well, it's the Commonwealth, isn't it? Yeah, so basically, the Queen owns that. I found this article here. The brothers have basically commented to having a closer relationship to Laura. A Palace insider reveals. So they want her to become a close aunt to the kids. Do you know? So, does that say something, or is it just to say that they've got kind of a nice relationship with the stepsister?
Well, hopefully they've got a nice relationship with the stepsister, and they're getting on with it. And if you think about it, they don't want to be listening to this kind of shit because to them it's tattle, and they already know what's going on.
But all right then. Well, now you've got kind of Diana's biographer. I think he's called Andrew Morton. He's confirming to New Ideas that the Prince of Wales was desperate to have a daughter, and that would basically mention it quite frequently.
Why a daughter?
What? I don't know. Well, he wanted 2 boys and a girl. That was his kind of go-to. Do you know what I mean?
Because the next thing in line, it was always, until just recently, it was always the male. Female never had the role unless there was other complications in there.
But because it was always a male heir, wasn't it? But then obviously we've had the Queen now for fucking early 100 years. It's times changed. It's I don't think by the 80s, I think the 80s they would have been open to that idea then. Do you know, we've been proven, we've had a female monarch on the throne for fucking God knows how long. It's not going to matter 60 years at that point, however long. Do you know what I mean? Fuck knows. So, I'm not sure.
Well, we've had a history of it in this country, haven't we?
Hide a sibling, or hide a child because they felt that, it wasn't an heir. It weren't heir-worthy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's face. It's face. You don't... back in the day, it was a case of, like you were saying, oh, you can't do that, right? You can't do certain things. You have to go and do everything by the church or by the line. You have to do all that. If you didn't, then you were a misfit. You're a nobody or a loser in the corner. But it's but that's where all if things happen like this, they hide it, and that's why all this kind of scandal and stuff comes out, and then it looks now even a lot worse than it probably is.
Maybe.
And was if they'd kept it as right. Yeah, we have a situation, we're dealing with it. Back off, let us sort it out. See you later.
Well, like I say, there's quite a lot of different media outlets who kind of came on board with this. The fact that does it matter even if he did? But the fact is that it's in this day and age, it's scandalous. The reason why anybody would cover it up was because it was something out of the realms of your marriage. Yeah. So the fact that that's what makes me think if he had, and that there is any element of truth to it, then the only reason why you'd keep that a secret is because it was sensitive and you didn't want people getting the wrong idea, or you didn't want your wife to find out. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be a case of that. I would have felt that they're
at the top of the chain. They need to keep the faith. They need to be pure of the pure.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't see that if it was a case of, they were just trying to keep the media quiet or whatever, then I don't see why that'd work. I don't see why they'd want to hide it. I don't see why they'd need to hide it.
You know what? You know what they should do? Right. What they should do is, anyone out there, you think you're royal, right? take your DNA, get it tested.
Yeah, but this is it.
Get it tested against theirs. If it is, sweet as a nut. If it isn't, I mean, who would thought Danny Dyer was royalty? Danny Dyer is royalty. He's related to one of the kings.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, did he do one of those genealogy family tree things?
Yeah, he did. Where do you... there's a BBC one programme, yeah. Where do you come from, or where, about your past. Well, and, yeah, he went down the line and he went like, I think it's something like George... was it George V or something? No. Yeah, I think it was one of the Georges. I think it was George II or something.
Well, like
and
you
it
say...
was like... And a bit of a maid, and then went, yeah, so... Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, it's like you can... No one's ever just related to fucking, just a normal dude.
And don't forget, as well, back in the day, they were drinking wine, fucking each other, fucking the maids, fucking the housekeeper. They were doing everything.
Drinking the mead, getting it on.
Because they were the top of the top, and it shined, and everyone had to do what they wanted you to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's so many. For all I know, I might be right. Doubt it, but yeah, Queenie, birthday's coming up soon.
Yeah, so here we go. So under the terms of the Succession to the Crown Act in 2013, which now allows females to have the same priority in order to success as a male does, the new baby, even if it's a girl, obviously the first kid of William and Kate, would be able to be the next in line for the throne, regardless of its gender. That's
thanks to William and Kate that has been changed.
Oh, has it? Really? Oh, well, there you go then. But obviously, this is why this resurfaced. And an American tabloid claimed that Sarah is a Charles and Diana's IVF daughter, saying that she is a result of a fertilized embryo implanted into the doctor's wife. But
then again, now do you know that the DNA that the royals are going to be turning around and going, yeah, you're right, and
they're saying that Kate had a 44-minute meeting with Sarah, and even though it's a ridiculous tale, it's caught the attention of the Spanish media, the Chinese media, it's global basically. So obviously, it's people were talking about it 10 years ago. It's resurfaced as a conspiracy or as a thing. Yeah, and especially now since Harry has left the Royals, it's come back around again with, Harry's now speaking up about his secret sister and all this. So, what are your thoughts on the whole IVF scenario?
Right, well, yeah, I meant to actually go back to that. Right, well, to be honest, it's hard enough doing it with one egg.
What, do you mean like the chances of him getting it right?
Getting it right the first time. Mind you, he was a professional, so I suppose he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he was.
So in a way,
he was the guy to do it if anyone was going to do it.
Yeah, because if he worked every time, you won't earn that extra money, would you?
Wouldn't you think it was a bit fishy though when your husband comes home who's an IVF doctor and was like, "Come on,
go on, love, get your legs in the air, legs akimbo.
Where's the turkey baster? Are you like fucking tonight?"
Do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, man, fucking hell. So, yeah, I think there would be a bit of kind of dodginess surrounding that.
He might have taken a couple, though. He might have said he's only taken one egg and she might have had two.
Well,
then again, that's assault as well.
Well, it's an definite invasion of the privacy, but, I mean, it's not like he was, I mean, there's a difference between taking something, like, from a celebrity, like, in a restaurant and going, I've got... fucking
I've just got his phone,
napkin or fork. This is the fork he used in this restaurant, whatever. Right? That's an invasion.
Well, taking something from inside here,
taking bodily fucking fluids.
Yeah,
it's just beyond the pale, isn't it? It's like if that was the case by any stretch of the imagination, I'd expect that those Secret Service goons would have taken that doctor out. Or at least brought him in for questioning, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, but you got to think about Harry as well.
Go on.
James Hewitt.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously that's a rumour that went round for a long time about how obviously, James Hewitt potentially could be the father of Harry due to the red hair and freckles and aversion to sunlight.
Okay, still a prince to me.
Well,
you know what I mean? Even though he's taken...
Well, no, ginger gene is a recessive gene, yeah. So, and apparently, these early photos of Diana where she has reddish hair. So, you can't rule that out, right? The fact that he has a red hair means nothing. Yeah, you can have DNA test all you like, right? And they probably did, right? Because
there was a lot of shit slinking around there.
The affair between James Hewitt and Princess Diana started in 1986, and Harry was obviously born in 1985. So time difference there potentially, throws a bit of a spanner in the works.
But have you ever heard of having an affair, having a little nibble before you actually take the apple?
The cake. There you go.
Have a little nibble before I go, you know what? Yeah, that was some pure... I'm going back to that one.
Well, I'm not 100% sure. Apparently the girl Sarah was allegedly born in October 1981, 8 months before the Prince William's birth on July 21st, 1982.
Is it Charles's as well? Could it be? Or someone else's?
Well, yeah, that could...
Potentially.
It could be if he's using IVF. Like, it could be a fucking mishmash of whatever, couldn't it, really? But you'd think that he'd be going for the pure specimens, do you know what I mean? Prince Charles and Diana. That's where the money is.
Well,
and he got a secret daughter 9 months later.
Yeah, true.
Go,
Walks in year 2020 and goes, yo, you owe me. I'm a part of the royals. And he's just got rich.
You're not. But that girl there, this kind of like fucking...
but she's going to...
Wannabe princess.
She's going to take care of them, isn't she?
Well,
they got themselves a little nest egg if that's the way it went down.
Well, there's quite a lot of different royal scandals and stuff like that, obviously.
Captain Mark Phillips, there's another one.
Go on.
Oh, Prince Anne's husband. Apparently, he had an affair before wedlock. A New Zealand woman called Heather Tonkin.
Oh, right, okay.
And there was a baby girl born called Tonkin Phillips.
Right, okay. Well, did you know that it's rife in the royal family about having secret kids, Prince George, who was the Duke of Kent, his younger brother, he was the younger... get me words out. So Prince George, the Duke of Kent, was the younger brother of King Edward the Seventh, right?
Yeah.
And George the Sixth, right?
Yeah.
Has been long rumoured to have enjoyed scandalous lifestyle filled with parties and affairs with both women and men, right?
All right.
Apparently, he had a secret son. So,
right.
Yeah. He was rumoured to have a secret son, and according to rumours published in multiple news outlets, they had a child together. So him and this woman had a child together in 1926 before putting the baby up for adoption. The baby, later named Michael Temple Canfield, was reportedly adopted by Cass Canfield and went on to marry Charlene Lee Bouvier, the younger sister of the First Lady Jackie Kennedy.
All right.
Yeah. There you go. Princess Margaret was also rumoured to have a secret son. However far-fetched this might seem, apparently, according to Robert Brown, had the world hooked when he claimed that he was the secret love child of the Queen's late sister, Princess Margaret. Obviously, more than a decade before.
Fucking hell.
So there you go.
There's a lot of them, and it's not only just Britain. I mean, the Spanish royals, shit, there's a few there. Norway, who else? Russia, fucking hell. You've got them everywhere.
Did you ever remember that film, King Ralph?
Yeah.
Where it was some dude and he was like...
Yeah, where all the royal family got knocked out and they had to trace down the DNA and they found...
Yeah, exactly.
It
makes you think that, like, these sort of things could actually happen because, there's that much fucking.
They could be wiped out by the corona.
They could. That's a very good point.
Exactly.
Right? If something happened like that and they all got wiped out by coronavirus, or something as fucking random, right? Who would be the next in line? I mean, they would have to do that trail down the line sort of thing, down the bloodline, to find out who was next in line. And it'd be fucking Danny Dyer. You know what I mean?
Danny exactly what I was thinking. Danny Dyer's in charge.
Mate, fucking hell. Do you know I love him in, right?
Come on, Draco, what's that?
Fucking hell. Sometimes, do you know that movie Taxi Driver? Can you relate? Have you seen it in Human Traffic? So good, that film.
Yeah, I got
Danny
that
Dyer as a sprog. Yeah, excellent. Yeah. And The Business. Check out The Business as well, which is a great movie.
Yes, that's a good film, yeah.
What do you reckon then? So, overall conclusion, right? Are we?
Well, it's been going on, hasn't it?
It's been going on, right? And we've proven that. We've got a number of cases of alleged
King Henry VIII.
Right, go on. Have you got another one? See, they're coming out of the woodwork, right? We could have a party with fucking royal wannabes.
All right, Mistress Elizabeth Blount had a son called Fitzroy, but at his age of 17, he died. No one knows why.
Ooh, got on the hit list.
King Prince.
Yeah, he's king material, isn't it? It's like you've got to take out these guys before they're in power. Otherwise, when they're in
ruthless
power,
back in the day, so
what?
Get rid of your own child to keep your own power.
Of course, yeah.
And stuff like that.
I don't want to abdicate, you know what I mean, or whatever.
Fuck it. Fuck being king. I'd rather be second in command.
So you think that, like, so do you think there's any truth to it?
Look, there's where there's smoke, there's sometimes an amber or two, but then again,
well, just look at all this with Prince Andrew, yeah, right? Now, what if one of these girls now turn around and say,
yeah, he's been very quiet, hasn't he?
Kid, yeah, right? It'd be a case of, no, you haven't. Sweep it under the rug. We don't want any more scandal, right?
Yeah,
now,
of
course, yeah, right. With enough going on at the minute, without a fucking love child of Prince Andrew coming out of the woodwork after all these allegations as well, right? Now, you never know. There could be something like along those lines where you think, well, you know, back in the day, not even that long ago in the 80s, like even social sort of
they've been doing it since the Greeks. Everyone's been fucking everyone else and just...
But it's social fucking sort of how you're seen by the public, especially as a figurehead. So you're trying to persuade people that you've got the hands on the reins and you're doing everything you can. You don't need the tabloids. And the tabloids, look, back then, they were a fucking lethal lot, obviously proven, yeah? So... it's slackened off loads because there's no call for it as much nowadays, the law's changed, which means that they can't go out fucking press ganging, you know, fucking celebrities and royals and all the rest of it as much as they did. And obviously Diana changed a lot of that with that, yeah. Now,
yeah. Every day she was photographed, every single day.
But, I mean, it's like, people go on like she was the fucking prince, she's the princess and all that, yeah, but she wasn't exactly whiter than white, was she? I mean, how many affairs did she have herself? Do you know what I mean?
The people's
obviously,
princess.
James Hewitt, fucking Dode, Fayed.
Hey, everyone has a past.
I don't know who else, but that's what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. Everyone's got a past, yeah, and for whatever reason, if this daughter of Charles exists, yeah, right, bring her out of the woodwork, mate. Do you know what I mean?
She reminds me of an actress.
Bring her out, because to be fair, I think most people would go, is it? Well, nice one for letting people know. You know, no one's asked, yeah. People.
I don't think they would be that asked.
No, I don't think they would be. It'd be in the papers for a couple of weeks. Oh, so-and-so's...
she's sitting nice and pretty.
Yeah, but she's... Yeah, exactly. She's just a
lucky bitch.
You know, princess. Another princess on the block. Well in, yeah. Doesn't really affect us. So, you know, if it is the case, yeah, and Charles, you're listening, just fucking own up, fella. If it's not the case, then stick to your guns, tell them it's not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
yeah, because it might be that all these might be all bullshit and it's just papers like trying to earn the fucking
yeah.
the credit.
In that case, they should be fucking ashamed of themselves for not.
And that's why it needs to be fucking changed. And that's why after the phone scandal, it should have been changed. And instead, they turned around and went, "Oh well, look after yourself.
Well, I'm going to
put your
go
own
out
rules
on a
in."
limb and say that this is debunked, because I don't buy it. I know it went on, right? And
yeah,
I mean, but the thing is, right, when I was trying to research it, the actual lack of anything on the web about this made me think that it's been taken down. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no YouTube
I remember
videos,
you saying it wasn't on YouTube.
No, it's not. I found one video on YouTube, and where was it from? Yeah.
India, I think.
India, exactly. It was in a foreign language, and it was reporting on the Globe piece that we were talking about in tonight's show. So, to be fair, it's like that's just how kind of, to the extent of how kind of viral this story went in terms of...
Should have been a lot more information than there was.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, it went global, right? Now, if this was a case of the newspaper, the Globe, had just kind of made up a story or got the facts wrong or what, yeah, now they had a 45-minute interview with this girl. Did they never think, you know... I mean, I want to know what was said in that interview, because none of that was translated into the story. Do you know what I mean?
The tape's out there somewhere.
It's got to be, hasn't there? So,
the rest of it.
I don't know. I think it could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out to be true, but I'm going to say I don't buy it at the moment. Now, because like I say, there's a couple of people. Now, there's more chance of this Laura Loop being Charles's daughter, yeah, overall, because he was actually in a relationship with her. Makes more sense that this Laura's his daughter, because he was in an illicit affair with Camilla Parker Bowles whilst in a relationship and married to Princess Diana, yeah. And plus he was seeing her before the marriage, right? Potentially he could have knocked her up. She's ended up pregnant. Yeah. Oh no, I'm seeing this Diana girl now, yeah. Off he goes, right? Keep this a secret, and yeah, he knocked her up. She was pregnant. She gave birth in the October.
Basically,
that makes more sense to me than the fucking IVF embryo fucking
that is
debacle. I don't care that it was like it. I mean, it's a great story, but that's it
for a story.
For a story, yeah, I think so.
Basically, what we just got to take out of this is basically they're like you and me. They're exactly the same as everyone else, except for they're just covering it up because they don't want to be seen in that situation. We're above that kind of shit.
Yeah, that's it. That's because you see it as they're above it because the royalty.
Yeah. The royal.
But generally, you know, do you know what? It must be a boring life because all you're doing is fucking going to press conferences. You're all going visiting hospitals, doing all your rounds. Yeah,
they're trying to rule the world, aren't they? You know what I mean? So top of the Illuminati.
Yeah, yes. Let's get
lizard people in the basement getting all the materials ready.
Dread to think what goes on. It'd be like those red rooms on fucking the dark web. Or whatever.
Yeah. Like, drinking kids' blood so they survive longer and longer. All these kind of things that have come out about the royals is, look, some of it is bonkers. Some of it is
true, but that's what makes these types of stories so fascinating, because you can't. It's like when you get somebody who's really good at bullshitting, yeah, and it's like
and they pay people millions to fucking bullshit.
There's elements there that you could go, ooh, that could actually be right, that, and then these far-fetched elements, and you look at them both and go, I don't know which to believe, because on the right hand it's so fucking far out.
Well, one side you've got evidence, but the power that be have got the power to stop that little bit of evidence. But that little bit of evidence, if they could get that around, spread that around fast and as quick as possible, then they might have an opportunity. But most of the time, it will be squashed.
Yeah,
it'd be squashed and just shut and put to bed, or threatening and stuff like that as well. Families and
it'd make him a bit more relatable, wouldn't it, Charles? If it turned out it was like, yes, I did, I boffed her, and now I've got a kid. It'd be like,
yeah, well, he was a player. He's always been a player, hasn't he? You know what I mean? So he loves a dance. He's well up for a dance.
Camilla, bobumped.
Yeah.
So what was this other chap? This Australian guy, right? So he went to court, right, to try and get a DNA test, and he's been squashed twice. Like I said, do you think like he's like a bit mental, and he's just because? I'm sure
it might have just been told the story of something that's gone on, and
as an
the mother
child
or father could be bullshitting.
Could as you hear these stories about like adoptees, like who were like, oh, they always you see it in films a few times. The idea of in fact, Danny DeVito in Twins, he sums it up. I've been in care, and you always have this dream of like a rich family coming to pick you up, and they're like, oh, we never knew you, there was a mix-up at the hospital, if we knew, we wouldn't have let this happen and all the rest of it. But it's like they all have this sort of like dream, but it's like so maybe this is it, it's just a delusion. And this guy's he was told a story that Prince Diana or Charles or Camilla or whatever. Yeah.
But he mentally could have been told it so much and so over his young life that it is a part of him now.
Like, look at that. When we were talking about Jim Jones a couple of weeks ago on the Jonestown massacre, it was a case of that it was enforced in part that he was that she was gonna have this child, and even though he was kind of left to his own devices, she still kind of instilled that in him. Do you know what I mean?
Gift of the
she was born to have him, who was a gifted child and was going to do some magical stuff. Do you know what I mean? It was like when a child, if it's kind of in a situation where it's in a care home and it's got questions like why did this happen? Why didn't they love me and all the rest of it? And then they start feeding you this story about how things could have been. Of course, you're going to go kind of latch on to that and maybe fucking pursue
I suppose not only that as well. If you're in a home with parents, then you've got two people to talk to for different information throughout growing up. But if I'm supposing if you're in an orphanage, you've got the rest of the kids that are around you. Then you've got the peer pressure straight off. Then you've got a couple of adults, about 7 or 8 maybe.
This kid thinks he's fucking Prince Charles. His son, and stay away from him. He's nuts.
And you might have to get information from one person, but then you're getting the same information from another person, but it's being told in a different light. Like one of them's giving you the old evil, go forth, and the other person or the other persons could be saying, oh no, you want to lay back and that, and then so now you've got a young person who wants to know an answer to a question, and he's being told by several different people 7 different ways. So it's like science. You've got to go out and look for some fucking more, and you're not getting a direct answer that let's face it, everyone wants just the direct answer. Give me the answer. I don't want all the fucking waving all about it. Yeah, you went to the shops and did that, blah, blah. Did you get me my 6? You know what I mean? Just did you get me my 6? I don't care if you went down there, rob the fucker and come back and give me my 6.
I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Because, it's like, I think Paul McCartney's got some kids who want DNA tests and claim to be his kids. Yeah, we covered it in an episode way back when, in episode 1. Yeah, because there's a chap who claims to be Paul McCartney's son, but then he's saying that the guy who is Paul McCartney now won't give it to him because he's not really Paul McCartney. So it's a whole big loop game, because now if he does go, and no, in fact he did go and I give him a DNA test and to prove that he wasn't his son, and because he's not Paul McCartney it came back negative. That's what he claims. So there's a lot of this in terms of like, if you travel around and you're a bit of a superstar, then you've got opportunity. You've got
nuts in loads of holes. You know what I mean? So
you've got you store your nuts in several fucking
cities.
trees. Yeah. So
it's only like being a sailor.
Well, this is it. It makes me want
a girl in every port.
Like I say, back in the 60s, it was all free love and shit like that. By the 80s, it was like, don't fuck anyone. And then it got to fucking now, and it's like, don't even touch anyone. Hazmat suits, masks, going out. You can't do fuck all. Give it another 20 years.
We'll be fucking each other. And then another 20 years after that, we'll be all dying.
There'll be no procreating. It'll be like fucking, like Dr. fucking Baster. Turkey dude. Turkey, bro. That's how you do it. If you want to have a kid, you got a turkey based up.
Well, yeah, but more blokes are losing the semen than like ever before.
So are boats.
Yeah. Chemicals, too much chemicals in the fucking water. Fucking our men up.
Been watching
Titanic
week on National Geographic this last couple of days. Been interesting. Yeah, some of the jewellery they found over there. And just quickly breaking news. Over on Oak Island, this is actually breaking news. Did it, and segues right into the news because that's coming up in a second. But breaking news, something majorly historic has been found.
Dinosaur.
No, I can't tell you what it is yet because I don't know. But the headline is historic. Item.
I bet it's a piece of metal about that big.
Find something big has been found on Oak Island. So
I found a stone.
I'll get back to you next week on that. Let you know what the fuck they found.
They hype that shit up so much, man.
Shizzle. Yeah, I know, but
but it's one of them that if you're hyping it up and there's nothing at the end of it, why are you fucking hyping it up next time?
They did actually find something this week, actually, when I was watching the latest episode, and they started digging in a new hole, and they found wood from which could be they get the dendrochronology on it, and they can find out when it was actually worked, and it was looking promising. It had Roman numerals all over it and held together with pegs. Yeah, so they were suspecting its original work. So, and then they found as they were digging in this hole, they were pulling out axes and pickaxes and fucking all sorts. So. It looks like they're in a good spot, and if that was anything to go by, I've got high hopes for the next episode. I will keep you informed.
I will if they find the fucking tape that's gone missing.
I want them to find the money. I want them to find the
find that fucking missing tape.
Anyway.
What was on that?
That's true, yeah. That fucking floods or something. Anyway, going on swiftly. So anyway, in conclusion, what we're saying, are we busting this?
I'm saying, does it really matter?
Does it matter? It doesn't
matter.
Does it
really matter? Does it really matter to us?
No,
it doesn't really affect us in the slightest, realistically.
Is there a need in this day and age to even hide these types of things, or kind of doesn't it not kind of make them more relatable?
Depends on the situation. The situation's going to be different every time.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? So,
well, tell us what you think. If you've got any comments, if you like the royal family, or if you've heard this rumour or this conspiracy before, then get in touch, because maybe we've missed something, and it could be something major that cracks it wide open. Let us know by email at neverstraightanswer@gmail.co.uk.com, and over on the website at neverstraightanswer.co.uk. I got a little bug in the space.
Hey.
How'd you get bugs in space? It's fucking crazy. Anyway,
well, you're there.
I know. Fuck you. Right. Anyway, I'm more than a bug. So swiftly on to the news. It's a news, and we've looked all over the interweb and other sources this week, because I've been kind of looking for the best news I can find this week. And yeah, pretty good. Some pretty good stuff. What have you found? We've scoured the web for the best stuff. Big hands up. Go on. He's got his pad out. He's got his pad out.
Yeah. For Captain Thomas.
Oh, that guy, man. He's got number one hit. He's got number one song in the charts now as well.
Yeah. Good, yeah, man. I know. Who was it with? Michael Bolton, wasn't it?
Is it with Michael Bolton?
Something like that, yeah, Michael Bolton,
yeah. Don't spoil it, didn't it? It was rather going to be him or Chris Martin. I know he dives on everything.
Well, that's true. Yeah, Captain Tom Morris 99-year-old man who wanted to raise £1,000
Yes.
for funds for the NHS.
And how much did he raise?
He raised 25 million up to now, and he's still going up. It's still going up.
Good man. You are a hero.
To do it.
He's a fucking hero. Give him a round of applause for that, man. And he's doing laps of his garden, isn't he?
Yeah, it's about 5 yards long. He wanted to do 100 times before he reached his 100th birthday.
And how old is he? 100 now?
99. I think it's coming up. I think he isn't 100 yet, but he's nearly there.
Well, it's smashed it then, hasn't it?
Big thumbs up. Yeah, man.
Yeah, give him a thumbs up then, Taylor. Give him a thumbs up. Give him a virtual. Don't be denied.
There you go.
Did it do it?
Come up.
Nah.
It did it. It did over here.
It's fucking shocking.
I know, I did it.
Worked yesterday. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, nice one, man. That's absolutely amazing. I think everybody who's pulling together and doing everything they can to, just show support and raise money. There's been so many people who are using the 3D printers to make PPE for staff on frontline who need it. Give a big shout out to Debbie, who's my brother's wife, girlfriend, who has basically just had corona. She's a frontline worker, and she's just recovered so well. Nice one, Debbie, for getting over it so quick and getting back out there and doing the bit. In fact, give you a round of applause as well. There you go.
And I'd put a thumbs up.
Yeah, he did.
Let's see if he comes up again.
Nah, I didn't. So well in.
I did do it.
Big shout out to every fucking frontline worker out there. You're doing an amazing job. I've got this news story here which relates to frontline workers and NHS workers in particular. Right, Iceland, the supermarket chain, supermarket shopping, fucking freezer stuff, I suppose, upset NHS workers this week when they put up a policy that stated that if they touched any product, they'd have to buy them. Sort of you touch it, you buy it.
Do you think that's sensible or stupid though?
Well, that's what they claimed. So under the former policy, there were a number of measures in place to exclusive to NHS shopping in shopping hours, which include payment on cards only, cleaning stores each day after exclusive hours, and if they touch it, they must buy it policy. Iceland have now apologised for the error and removed it from the website. But do you think it was a bit too much to put up there in the first place? It was a bit fucking...
but I can see where they're coming from because of being on the surface for a bit. Well, it was supposed to be generally a couple of hours to like 12 hours, but it stayed on. Apparently the corona stays on for 24 to 48, but I've also heard 5 days, and I've also heard 27
so who
days.
Knows? Yeah, so basically, who knows how long it's supposed to stay on there? And I mean, if people pick up a loaf of bread and feel how fresh it is, and go,
I thought about it the other day when I went.
No, I honestly have as well. I've thought about it when I bought supplies. When I thought, is this going to be a bit too much, or am I going to get like?
Well, I picked some up and I thought, I'm not going to actually have this. Should I actually put it back? Because if I am contaminated, then I have just contaminated not just only that stock, but the stock below it.
Yeah.
The stock above it, the stock at the side of it, and the person who picks it up and goes, "Oh, I just did the same."
So, from a kind of a common sense perspective,
in a common sense,
you can see why they did it. But do you think that it was a bit kind of? It's almost like it's segregation in it. They're saying well, not to that extent, but basically saying oh no, you've got the lurgy.
You can't
tactics. Do you know what I mean? And it's
can't be going back to that. We have to take it. At the end of the day, we're all taking the chances.
Yeah, that's
every day. So we're going to
exactly.
Don't have to take the chance, and people do pick up stuff and put it back. It's just one of them things that we all do.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the right.
I think it was right to take it off.
And I totally agree that they should take it down. I think that they're great that these supermarkets have kind of done opening hours just for key workers, makes their lives a lot easier. Some of the queues though I've seen, with this social distancing, it's pretty epic.
Like Big Marcus, there's like 30 people in there, and it's like, oh, I can't even pass you.
It does feel nice. So when you're wandering around and there's hardly anyone in there, but it's like that kind of, you still do this thing where you're walking down an aisle, and then somebody else will be wandering up the other side, like the other direction, or they'll want something. You'll want something where their trolley is still. And it's like, I've got to wait for 5 minutes.
I actually had that this week.
Until you fuck off so I can go and pick up a bag of sugar. Do you know what I mean?
I ended up going round them twice.
Well, I've got to the point a couple of times where I've just gone, fuck you, get past, hold my breath. Yeah. Try my best, hold my breath. Have you got anything else have you got anything you want to talk about? What's happening this week?
Yeah. Well, I was telling you about last weekend, the other day about how like we were nearly hit again
by a meteorite.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But we actually was hit by a meteorite. Yes, Nigeria, in the middle, in the fucking desert,
somewhere out where in the middle of nowhere where nobody saw it.
Yeah, but near people, because there was a road and it hit the road. There was a big, massive crater. There's pictures on the internet. But there are 2 stories coming out about it.
Well, I've got a story coming out a bit later on, which might relate to this. So go on.
Okay. Well, one was about a meteorite that hit that we're all trying to find out about. But then I believe the government are saying that it was the crater was created from a wagon that had problems, and then an explosion happened. Which I've seen the picture of the crater. No, it's more like a meteorite. But not only that, there's quite a few people who've seen it and taken photos, and there was even one from Iceland. 2 pictures, that was taken from Iceland of it actually coming down.
Now, do you remember the one that happened in Russia? Yeah, where it was like a big flash and it was like a ball of fire. And it had a trail, didn't it? It had a smoked plume, right?
Yeah.
So, this is a mysterious burning object in England's skies, leaves people stumped, and basically people in Cambridgeshire were caught by surprise when they saw what appeared to be a mysterious burning object in the sky, and it also left a trail of smoke. So the Daily Mail reported that the sight was first witnessed by a man named Jerry Underwood. Jerry, who's seen shooting stars before, who's been seen shooting stars before, swears. Oh, yeah, so he's seen shooting stars in the sky. He doesn't.
So he knows what
he's looking for. Said he's never seen anything like it. He's also said that the burning object seemed to be moving quite slowly. So he didn't no idea what they thought it could be. First suspicions was a meteorite, but then he turned around and started suspecting because of the speed it was travelling at, it could potentially be a ship. But would his perspective of the speed, I mean, say if you're thinking about perspective, right? Now, could this object have been that large that it could have been seen from England, but it was moving quite slowly in the sky because it was being observed from far back? Do you know what I mean?
First off, it'd have to be really going at thousands of miles an hour.
But then, yeah, exactly. But the fact that it was so large and hit in the middle of nowhere, maybe. Was it a big meteorite, do you know?
What, in Nigeria?
Yeah.
From the impact crater, I would have said it was about half a car.
Fucking hell, still pretty.
Still pretty, but it was a massive crater. But it only really takes, with it going at thousands of miles an hour, it only takes like when we was talking the other day about alien invasion, a piece of chip of paint that's floating round could destroy a satellite.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know what I mean? So it's all on the force of it coming through.
This is why they developed that sort of radar system, isn't it? So they can track. And since that's gone offline, we've been hearing a lot more about all these asteroids and comets.
Yeah, but the last minutes.
Yeah, they are last minutes.
Last minute spots.
Well, it depends on how they decide whether it's newsworthy. if it's a risk factor, or they could turn around and go, right, we'll just keep an eye on it. Chances are it'll miss us. Right, it's missed us. Tell the public. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Most of the time, that's the case.
Maybe that is the case. Yeah. So,
but then when it does hit, or it is a potential to hit, and you've got the potential to give at least a little warning.
When you end up with a global killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what you want, is it?
You want that I want at least that little bit of warning. I don't care if it's fucking 5-10 minutes. So at least it gives me a chance to, do whatever I want to do. Put the washing out and shit.
Put the washing out. It's easy. You don't need something like this coming out your ass, do you? Like,
yeah, you know what I mean?
When you've got this coming towards you, you just think, fucking hell, big meteorites.
But then it comes down to the panic attack. Now.
How do you mean? Like, do you think? Well, that's it, isn't it? It's like you don't want an unnecessary panic.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen.
You see, I was thinking about the odds of things happening, right? Now, I might have talked about this before, but, like, what are the odds of, a global pandemic, right? Just statistically speaking, right? So then you take a country, right, like Australia, right, who in the last 12 months have had not only the pandemic, right, they've had national fires that have fucking burnt up half the country. Not only that, they've had flash floods, right?
Yeah.
Now, you take the statistics from having one of those events and then add the statistics of all three of these things that are just like one thing after another thing after another thing. The fucking overall odds of that happening must be astronomical. Do you know what I mean? Like, it makes you think, doesn't it? Like, how kind of...
But
we talk about what's fucked up where you're from. We've covered Earth. Earth's one of the most fucked up places.
Biggest fucked up area in the world.
It starts making me think about, like, this simulation hypothesis, this simulation theory, where we're all living in a simulation, because it does seem that we get a lot thrown at us to just see how resilient we are. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's one thing after another. And when you take places like Australia and then look at statistics on how that could happen, or even the odds.
Yeah, but that could be like aliens testing us.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It does make you feel like you're being. It's not another thing. It's like does make you feel like you're under observation and being tested. It's crazy to think that, but
But then again,
I've been in isolation too long. 7 weeks. Lockdown.
Then again, we're pretty stupid species in some sense, because when we find something, we're always looking for something to upgrade us to the next level. But then when we find it, we don't check that idea out. We just use it.
Yeah.
See the consequences afterwards. We'll leave that for later on. We'll leave that for the next generation. We'll get it sorted out before the next generation. Yeah, time runs out. It's all fucking... You've started the roller coaster, and in every level, if it's doing it in every level and everybody's doing it, and it's the same effect of, like, when I walk out the door, I've got to relax
because everybody
I don't get run over.
Would you jump in front of a car because everyone was doing it? No.
Well, no, because but there will be some lemons out there.
Yeah. In fact, next week I'm going to have a look at the Darwin Awards, because we've not covered it for a while, and it'll be interesting to see who's
won it this year.
Oh, in fact, I don't think we covered it last year, so I think we'll have a look. If it's not been out this year, we'll look at last year's winners of the Darwin Awards. It's always interesting, isn't it? Have you got any more news you want to talk about before we move on to the next story?
Right, don't meet you, right? Yeah. Nah, go on.
Right, well, a woman from Paraguay, had the shock.
Paraguay.
She's a Paraguayan. She had the shock of her life when she reportedly woke up in a body bag. Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
Right, after being declared dead. So she's called Gladys. Was set to be prepared, for a service hours later. Yeah, to be fucking autopsied. Yeah, and her family had already been informed that she was dead on the Saturday. The married mother had gone to San Fernando Clinic in the city to because she had high blood pressure, and according to the Mail Online, which reported that the 50-year-old who was actually 46, so she'd been reportedly, her age had been reported wrong as well, right?
Oh.
Basically, about 2 hours after she arrived, the doctor confirmed that she was dead to her husband and the daughter, right? But the staff at the funeral parlour had found her moving inside the body bag when they were trying to unload her.
Oh, shit.
So what the fuck was that about? How the fuck did they miss
That's
it?
a bad day at work, that is.
How did they miss it? So basically, all of her information was wrong, right? She'd been declared dead when she was fucking alive, yeah? Basically, her family had been notified. I mean, I understand that hospitals are stretched at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like, and obviously I don't want to kind of cast aspersions on the hospital. Yeah,
I was thinking shit in my head now that about situations that have happened at the hospital near me.
Like, well, there's a lot of people being declared dead now. If the people with respiratory conditions and they've got shallow breathing or whatever, or low pulse, is the people getting slipping through where they're being declared dead and going to the morgue? And then literally just dying in the morgue, do you know what I mean? It's like, you've got to, wow.
It's just be thankful it doesn't happen often enough.
This woman was a woman who just went in, she basically just, well, by the sounds of it, she just went in with high blood pressure. It doesn't even say. Do you know what I mean?
She'll be alright, she'll be quitting. You know she's going to claim for that.
Hell, yeah. But yeah, waking up in a body bag, that's got to be traumatic.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Shit yourself.
Fuck, yeah, hell yeah. It's second one that wears to a coffin. That's already in the ground.
That's worse. Because at least if you were in a coffin, you'd be like, I'm in a coffin. You know, you'd wake up and you'd know where you were.
Are you getting out?
There'd be no sort of fucking, like, wondering.
But it used to have belts, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, in the coffin.
And now you can have mobile phones, actually.
Well, I'd want one. And now the thing is, if I was found in a body bag, it's like, you know, zips don't zip from the inside. Zips zip from the outside. So you couldn't get out of a body bag. You'd just be like, you'd wake up in a plastic.
I shove my finger through any fucking hole there and I'm ripping myself out that cunt. I don't care. The little tear. All right, I'll bite the fucker if I have to.
Yeah, true.
I ain't staying in that bag. Or I'll lie there for a bit and wait to hear to someone coming along. Before the trolley moves, I'll just go...
yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Just start going, brains.
Yeah, but then again, I might stun them that much, they might fall back, smash their head open.
Yeah, they're never getting you out of the bag then, are they?
Yeah, I'm still in the bag, and I'm like, I need air. Come on. Well, it would be funny.
Any more news?
Yeah. I've got some NASA news.
Well, I've got one more story before we move into NASA news, yeah?
Actually, yeah, because I got go for it.
All right, so... frozen time travel seeds could save millions of trees. How's that for a fucking headline there? Time travel seeds. So, millions of seeds from trees have been collected and sorted as part of an effort to protect the UK's woodland. It's hoped that the 13 million seeds, more than 70 species of trees, will be replaced. Replace and save woodland. That's been damaged by disease.
There's a world one in there in the Antarctic, I think it is.
Yeah, the World Seed Library.
Yeah,
they've got apparently every seed going. Yeah. One of the biggest woodland killers is a disease called ash dieback, according to the Woodland Trust, and it kills up to 95% of the UK ash tree population, which makes it around 20% of all UK trees. It's also thought that climate change has damaged woodland because of the rising temperatures and weather, and extremes, and they don't like it.
We've got some about climate change in NASA news.
But the collection of seeds will be used to research by the Royal Botanical Gardens and could help regenerate woodlands and reintroduce new trees. The seeds have been called time-travelling seeds because they were available for planting for so long. It's because they were stored at sub-zero temperatures in the seed bank in Sussex, which means we've got one in Sussex as well.
Sweet.
Where they stayed, where they stayed for many decades. So they've been there, frozen, like fucking Captain America.
Now they're going to let him out. Go, run free.
Same thing, innit? It's Captain America seeds, and now they're going to here. Now they're here to save the woodland, like avenging trees. We like that. First avenging trees, well in. So yeah, that's my stories. What do you reckon to that? I think that's cool. I like the fact that I think Futurama touched on the World Seed Library, and they basically put it next door to the World Germ Library. And they were like
cross-contaminated.
Yeah, they were saying, isn't it a bit dodgy?
I can see a government doing that though. It's so fucking
next
stupid.
to the germs, and they were saying, nah, it'll be all right. And then they grew these seeds, and they were like fucking mutants, whatever. This is a typical Futurama episode. What do you want? So
yeah, well, she's tried.
I've not got much NASA news, but you crack on, son.
Oh well, I thought I'd go into the shop in Australia first.
Okay, go for it.
Where someone had come in and bought like 4,000 bog rolls, shitloads of sanitizer, and this was about a week before the outbreak.
Oh yeah, I've seen a few things like this. They've all been go for it. Yeah.
So he's taken them away. He's come back.
Thinking he was going to make a profit, wasn't he?
Yeah, he thought he was. So he come back and said like, would you want to buy these back? The manager went, hell no, you bought all that, you use all that.
Yeah, mate.
So the guy even put a 30% discount on if he'd take all the stuff back, so he would have lost money.
Yeah, well, and then he still wouldn't take them. No. This is the thing, profiteering off fucking world crisis. At the end of the day, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. It's like, there was a few of these, because when it hit and everyone started bulk buying for toilet roll and hand sanitizer, there was people with garages full of this stuff. And obviously they couldn't sell them online because places like eBay and Amazon had put restrictions on them. So you could sell them, but you could only sell them for what the market value was, or the recommended retail price, and that's fair enough. You're not going to profiteer off it. You probably lose money. Well,
because you got to pay.
You get for fucking trying to pull a fast one. Do you know what I mean? Idiots.
Right.
So. Yeah, so gutted for all these chumps who have got fucking absolute loads. I wanted to talk about quickly protests in America. Have I talked about this? I brought it up at the start of the show.
Go for it.
So
it's
a bit fucked up, man. I keep seeing it on the news. Like a lot of these like people who were literally protesting outside government buildings, they brought the kids out and they're saying that it's a fucking, a restriction on the freedoms and whatnot. I mean, surely if you've got kids, for a start, you want them to fucking be safe, and you don't want them to be coming down with anything like this. Why do these people insist on feeling like it's... I mean, I'm down for the conspiracies and whatnot, but, why do you think people are so kind of intent on jumping on these kind of like saying you're trying to control us and all the rest of it?
I think because of what's going to be coming in back in, and what's going to be coming in, because
do you think let's
get it right. Everything's going to change.
Do you think
now.
That, yeah, of course
things are going to change.
Of course, things are changing every day now. But like, do you think that this is going to be
I think it's a catalyst to start.
Do you not think things are going to go back to some normality or some semblance of normality?
There is, but under more control. I mean, they're even talking about tagging you with a chip so they can tell if you're going to have the corona or not.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've seen about kind of having a health passport of sorts, which kind of allows people to kind of... So you can travel, basically, where you can go, yeah, I've been tested, there's my card, get on the train, no problem.
Which it will start... hold on, our information that we give to the doctor that's going into a bank.
One for a flu, I think there's more sort of easier ways to do it. I think like Singapore's got an app that they use, which basically tracks the virus in a way that if there's been reported cases in a certain area, it highlights you to tell you not to go into that area.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if you're isolating yourself from the virus as well as each other, then that's a really good way of doing it. I think, like, obviously, we recommend you don't go through this this neighbourhood, go through this one instead. It's
South Korea's done it so right.
Less, noted cases of it. Do you know what I mean?
But the thing is, it's the same situation. What happened with taxes, right?
Yeah,
taxes were added on, and they were only supposed to be in for 2 years. 2 years. On the majority of them, and then they were gone.
Well, the thing is,
they
stayed. But the thing is,
there's always a reason behind it.
They've had to pump a lot of money into times I agree with the government, these times I don't, and these times that I understand the reasons behind the doings, and there's times I don't. This is a time when I can see the logic behind it. They've just pumped so much money they haven't got into the economy, into paying people's wages, into fucking PPE, into hospital building, into everything. Yeah, it's like for them to turn around and say, and we're going to give you 100% of your wage on top of that. Yeah, I don't think they could have done it, right? I think we're lucky to get...
Look, we're still not in Europe then.
There's a lot of people... I mean, I've not had my 80% or whatever yet, but like there's a lot of people who are now not falling under the categories for it, even though they signed into it. There's a lot of people who missed out on the date by a couple of weeks because they just started a new job.
But then they changed the date on that.
They've changed that. But then that's led to people not being eligible.
Don't get me wrong, but there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be in crisis. This is just a beginning.
They had to do that because, they've got to fucking make... They've got
to make the dough to pay it out. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, there's times when I agree, times when I don't. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the British
public, abuse of it.
Even though I've seen a lot of kind of people just out and about, yeah, like I say, I live on a main road. I see people passing my house every day, yeah, right. And the amount of people I see, yeah, on a normal work day, I wouldn't see that many people because they're all at work, yeah, right. But now they're all on the streets, having a walk, right.
Well, where's the next party?
So don't get complacent about this, yeah, right. Just do a couple more weeks. And hopefully this is the turning point. But with the States, I feel like if they take lockdown away now, it'd be a big mistake. And that's from somebody who's not even in your country, right? And I care about, there's a lot of people out there who listen to the show from the States. We care about you guys. I just feel like, what's working in the UK, and we've had quite a fucking hit off this shit, yeah, where everyone's kind of gone, oh, all right, we've got to do what we've got to do. And stayed in, and before you know it, it'll be over, and you just got to do your rip. But fucking don't get complacent and feel like, oh, everyone else is going out and they're all protesting and they're all right. Do what you need to do to protect your health service.
Oh, they're going to get fucking ill.
Exactly, yeah.
From doing that.
So just do what you need to do. You know what's right. You stay at home. Just do what you can. And, there's people out there. Big shout out to Jessie G as well, because she's been making face masks.
Good girl.
A
nice
local
one,
community, as well as kind of anyone she finds who needs one, and giving out hand sanitizer as well. So there's plenty of people out there doing the bit and doing the good thing. So I think I've got one last NASA story. Oh, we've got some NASA news, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yay! I've got one NASA story. So NASA astronauts returned to a drastically changed Earth.
Yes, I bet they had a shock of their life.
Jessie Meir,
where's the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, so Jessie Meir and Drew Morgan performed dangerous and historic spacewalks during their mission, but they've come back to Earth, and it's a very fucking different planet to which they left.
At least you know they ain't got corona.
It's got dangers of all of its own. Well, no, they've been out in space. I mean, they could be like, their immune systems might be down. I don't know what the situation is with, when you're out there in space. When astronauts return to Earth, they usually take a time to readjust to life with gravity and, just basic options to go outside. Do you know what I mean? They experience lockdown just like we are. I mean, you'll find that when you come out of lockdown, you might not want to go out. You've been institutionalized, like Brooks out of fucking Shawshank Redemption. Is like, I just couldn't cope.
No. I've got to go back in.
Like Brooks was here written across the fucking roof. But obviously NASA astronauts Jessie Meir and Drew Morgan, alongside Russian cosmonauts Oleg Spizhinsky, I don't know how you say it, returned on Friday morning. And the world's drastically different today from when they left for the International Space Station. How would you think you could cope with that? I mean, obviously, you've just been out in space. You've had isolation. You just want to wait. You can't wait to get home. I was thinking
You're going to have a bit more isolation when you're down.
I was thinking about this with prisoners as well. Imagine being paroled. Like, or because it's saying a lot of prisoners can't go out. They're not allowed out. Even prisoners who have been, like, released or due release can't go. Yeah. And it's like...
That could come under a couple of legal
I've seen a few things like this. I mean, I'm not 100%, but, like, I've seen a few cases where they're talking about because of how rife these things spread in prisons as well as, like, care homes and hospitals. That these
getting food brought to them.
Yeah. So, in terms of isolation, I mean, this is what I'm saying. It's like you've come back from the International Space Station for months on end, yeah, and the minute you splash down on Earth, they say, right, get in that room now, yeah, before you catch the corona.
Yeah, but at least you've got entertainment. You've got your freedom. You just can't really walk out the door.
You can go out in the garden, can't you, at least?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a back garden if you're lucky enough.
If you're an astronaut, I'm pretty sure you've got a back garden. Most people, this is it though. It's like apartments. People live in fancy apartments these days, don't they? Exactly. It's like you don't have might have a balcony or a veranda.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's your NASA news? Well, welcome back these guys as well, astronauts Jesse Mayer and Drew Morgan. Welcome home, and cosmonaut Olaf.
Welcome back. I bet you're not glad, are you?
Welcome back.
Well, at least you know you ain't got the corona. That's one good point.
Yet.
Yeah, possible.
I won't get it. I'm still in space.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but then again, as we've discussed before, microbe in space can grow massively.
True that.
In a small amount of time.
So come on, we're running out of time. What's your NASA news?
The comet Atlas is now broken that much apart. It's about to hit the sun. It's going to be smashed and boomed out of here, so it'll be gone. And the sun.
What about it? Come on.
The sun's wind hits the Earth, and it's been hotter than it usually should be. And we might have found out why.
Well, apparently, when asteroids hit, going back to asteroids, the heat coming off an asteroid is actually hotter than the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So potentially,
we're hitting particles from nothing to with the amount of speed, because, like in space, once you push something, there's nothing there to stop
friction,
it.
Has it? That's why I keep floating. I just like literally. It's a good job I've got my microphone here and my amp. Ridiculous.
And then over thousands of years, the speed that it would gain a little bit by bit, because especially when it's going near a sun, then it's starting to break up. So all the ice that's been put on there, whatever chemical is there, will be starting to push off, and then when it pushes off, it will move. It very so small, but that's why when we spot meteorites, we've got to watch them, because there's a chance that it could turn and hit Earth, or it could just, when they say it goes by, they always keep their eye on it, because it only takes a little bit to move some object in there. If it gets hit by another meteorite, bang.
I've not spotted any, so we're all right for the minute.
Well, we know they're there.
Yeah, we're all right for the minute.
Yeah. The solar wind, we believe that we might have found the reason why the sun's gotten hotter for some reason.
Okay. Well, doesn't that normally happen to suns? Don't they normally kind of like burn out?
11-year cycle.
Ah, right. Okay. So, because you were saying this a while back about like we're due a few solar, some sort of coronal mass ejections, like coming up, and they go in cycles, don't they? So, do you think like obviously it's been quite nice out. I think, obviously, one thing that I've noticed about, no planes in the sky is the skies are so much clearer. Have you noticed that haze has disappeared from the sky in terms of, like, stargazing? You can see more.
Yeah, there's loads of stargazing.
One thing that happened recently this week was, I don't know if you've noticed, there's been kind of a celestial event which happened, and there's been a lot of kind of twinkling in the sky, and people have been able to see multiple planets. Mars, Venus and Jupiter have been visible in the sky, Last week, I don't know if you managed to catch it, but it was a kind of big celestial event where all three of them lined up with the moon, and they all were there in the sky. So you looked up at the moon and you could see the 3 planets lined up next to it as well. And people went out there to get some photos and some getting out the telescopes and for that. And yeah, brilliant. I wish I had a telescope. I could have been out in the back garden, but it was actually visible to the naked eye. So there you go.
I got one.
Go on. Oh, a telescope.
Yeah.
Get out there. Get some stargazing done.
Nah. I can't be arsed with it. I've got too much other stuff to do.
I've got all the time in the world and I can't be arsed. Anyway, I was saying that motivation's lacking at the minute.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Oh, so, yeah. So I stayed up all night last night, till 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah.
And then thought I'd have a little 5-minute nap.
And then I rang him.
I was late. I was like, oh, fuck. Now I'll be up again all fucking night. It's like, oh, you bastard.
Ah, well, we'll get on we'll get on Call of Duty after this and
battle.
Yeah, we'll get some some plundering done. Well, that's it for the show. We've only got shout-outs to do. We've got quite a lot of new shout-outs this week.
Goody.
A lot of people getting involved, giving us a like over on Twitter.
I love it.
We've got our featured podcast this week, which is the last week for the Nightgeist podcast. If you want to check them out, go over to the website and they've got an episode over there and a link to all their stuff. Make sure you subscribe. If you like paranormal stuff, which we know you do because you're here. So, if you got this far, then you might like them. So go and check them out. Also, big shout out to our Patreons, who we couldn't do it without you guys. We love you to bits. Big shout out to Big J.
Yes, Jay.
Whoosh.
Swooshy,
Thanks
wishy.
for all your support, Swoosh. Dunk. Brooke. Cheers for your support. Couldn't do it without you. And in fact, we're going to give you a big round of applause. Well, not only that, we've got some hollers as well. Everyone wants a holler from us.
Yes.
We've got some shout-out-y type things for other podcasts that we recommend, as well as big fans who just get involved every week. So, got a big shout-out to EJ, who's our resident blogger in the basement. She'll be coming back this week with some excellent blogs. I'm sure you've missed her. She's been posting loads of other old school photos, not old school photos, but like old photos. And she's been up to all sorts, that girl. So, she's...
Busy bee.
Busy bee. Every time she posts a photo up, I'm like, oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty amazing. So, you can subscribe to EJ over at Instagram, EJ the Ginge, and over on Twitter, and EJ the Ginge as well. Or the link is on the website if you go to the Contact Me page. Big shout out to Jess and Jen over at the Not So Minnesota Nice podcast.
Hello.
They're making a return. I think they're recording tonight, so we'll look forward to that, and we'll be posting that over on the Twitter feed and making a big fuss about it as we do. Big shout out to the Dr. Square podcast. Dr. Square. Also, the Well Kept and Unclean podcast. Big shout out to you guys over there. Yeah, Well Kept and Unclean. Big shout out to Badoosh, Mr. Shirley Crabtree.
Yes. Shirley.
And Gareth.
Yes.
He's a top bloke, Gareth. He's been checking in, making sure that we're all right. He's like, I've not heard from you. You're all right? Not heard from you for like a couple of
months. We're doing fine, man.
We're doing fine. We're just trying to make the podcast better for you guys and keep you entertained. So it means that we've got to, tweak stuff and get things right. But we're here. So make sure you get the new episodes. He said we thought he missed one. I said this is one that you'd probably enjoy as well, because I know he's a big H.G. Wells fan. So, War of the Worlds, so check it out. Big shout out to Valerie Bubbles over in California. Still working over at Disney. Hey, don't know. She must be doing something there, and they need the fucking, I don't know, cranking those cartoons out. I have no idea what she does there, but we're like
voiceover
working there. Big shout out to the EMZT pod for continuous support. The Mallard Report, which is a podcast. Check them out. Also, big shout out to Killer Rabbit.
They're
really cool guys, and honestly, they got such a nice comment on Twitter the other day by, I think he was a doctor or a frontline worker, who said, you know what, I'll just like to, when I finish our day, stick you guys on, because I know you're just going to be entertaining and funny, and you can't get better than that, can you? So yeah, well into those lads. And just basically everybody on the front line, going from fucking doctors, nurses, paramedics, grocery store workers, fucking milkmen, yeah, right? All these people who are out there doing stuff, making sure the country's still running. We applaud you. We do it on a Thursday, but we do it here to do. That was heartfelt from us. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Where are we available, Taylor?
Everywhere.
Where are we available?
Everywhere.
We're available on all podcast platforms, wherever you want to go. If you want to get in touch, you can go over to Twitter at NASA_never. And we're also available on Instagram, where you can see some of our pretty pictures at NASA Never Straight Answer. You can get in touch with us at neverastraightanswer.co.uk. That's the website. Or by email at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. If you want to subscribe, give us a bit of Patreon money, you can get over to patreon.com/neverastraightanswer and help us out there, and it's all good fun. All helps out, all goes into back into the kitty and makes the podcast that little bit better for you. Look what we can achieve.
Just for you. No one else, just you.
With no budget on a live, no edits. We don't edit. Yeah.
No.
If you
fuck edits. Up, what the fuck you editing for?
Fuck up. That's that.
That's for people who just can't do it right the first time.
If you can't get it right the first time, and you shouldn't.
If you can't get it right, you shouldn't do it.
Right. Well, and on that note, I think that's it. We're at the end of the show. I've been Gaz, your host.
I've been Taylor.
He's the co-host. And we'll see you next time for another episode of Never a Straight Answer. Peace.
Ouch.